Come here, Saku. Come here. Come on, buddy. Good boy. Okay, so the boys are on the move again today, me and Sack, and it's Saturday, early February, and it's a beautiful day. We don't get a whole lot of snow here in Newfoundland. The winter's been flippy floppy. There's been rain, there's been snow, but we're making the best of it. Conditions still aren't so bad. I got a little gully I need to cross now to get into my campsite, and that is going to be an area I was at 2 weeks ago. And myself and my girlfriend Heather camped out in our canvas tent for one night. I stayed in for another night, and all the poles are left in there, all the boughs. I just got to go in there and set up the canvas tent again. So this is it. Hope you enjoy it, and we're going to head in now once we pack up. So I got a full load on today. We're actually going in for 3 days and 2 nights. So I got some food and I got some luxury items, and we're gonna have ourselves a time. I'm packed up. I drilled a few test holes in the gully out there, make sure the ice is safe. It's looking around 10 inches, so that's all we need, and it's time to go. So we got a bit of a greasy start here. This brook is open, and out beyond there is the gully that we got to go across. So I got to skirt my way across this little piece here. It's not overly safe, but it's not very deep, only probably up to my ankles. So let's see what happens here. We're good to go. Whoopsies. Perfect. We made it across the gully, not a hitch, and now we're on land all the way in to where the campsite is. Go Habs, go! Even though they're shitting the bed this year. All right, enough of the walkaway videos. I gotta get into that campsite. Shit. Sled. She tipped on me. A couple nice flurries coming in here now. We're calling for rain again later on. but by tomorrow evening it's supposed to cool right off again. So what do? Almost in there now. Another 5 minutes. Hey, Sack. 5 minutes. So, the site's pretty much just the way I left it. Well, it is exactly the way I left it. Only that there's a bit of snow on the bottom here, a bit more than there was, but that's good. That gets us a bit more of a level surface. I just walked it down. I don't got my snowshoes on. Didn't think I'd need them, and I don't, but would have been nice to flatten this area out a little better, but that's okay. I got my poles left over here. That's going to hold down the sides of the tent, because there's no bottom to this tent. I'm going to use boughs, which are stashed over here. I'm going to reuse all these boughs, and those logs, as I just told you, will hold down all four sides of the tent. If not, they'll just blow out with the wind. You'll see what I'm talking about in a bit. But I got my little bipod there, and my little bipod over there, and ridge pole coming across the top. So it shouldn't take me too long to set the tent up. I got to tie off ropes to this, and tie off the ropes on the side of my tent to you know, all these surrounding trees. I think there's something like 8 ropes, so it's time to get at her. So now I'm just moving the boughs in from the pile out back, bringing them around in the front door. I'm going to spread them all out, and then after that the only thing left to do is fire up the wood stove. Hey, Sack. looks like I'm gonna have to put some sticks underneath here and a few boughs. Sometimes it's a little fidgety putting this thing in. Just getting it in the right place, making sure it's level, and even then you have to adjust it as your trip goes on. What happens is the heat from the stove melts the snow underneath, and it starts to create a sinking effect, and the stove falls down somewhat and gets unlevel. So I'm gonna mess with it for a bit here. This one's full of knots. That's it. You hack away. Do the best you can. There we go. So it's just past 3 o'clock, and this is only a small bit of wood I got. I have a few more sticks in by the stove, but I got a lot more to get for tonight. And there's not a whole lot in the immediate area. I'm gonna have to empty the sled. Well, it's pretty much empty now. Just a couple more items in there. I'll put those in the tent. Then I'm gonna take the sled and go down and gather wood at the other end of the pond. Fill that sled up and come back and relax for the evening. That's some nice. Whew. Oh man. Probably one of the greatest things for me anyways is getting up here, getting that stove hooked up and starting a fire. Man, woohoo, you can't beat it. Woo! Dandy. I'm not gonna lie, I'm beat to a snot here. It was about 2 kilometers coming in, not including loading up the sled. Sled was pretty heavy. I'd say, I don't know, close on 100 pounds. And then we got in here and had to do the whole process of putting up the tent. So yeah, I'm a little beat out here. So before I go get some wood, I'm gonna have a little snack. And a kick back. So this right here is a purity cracker. Classic Newfoundland cuisine here. Along with a slice of moose Bologna. So it'll be enough to fuel me up, I think. To go fill the sled with wood. Hopefully get a few holes in the pond. And yeah, so that's life. Saku. Little piece, bud? Yes, I know you do. Probably one of the more relaxing places I've ever been is inside these tents. When they're warmed up, you get everything done. And you can't really beat it. Where's my water too? Oh. Having a few swigs of water here now. And got a few beers for later. A couple cold ones. We've had a long week, didn't we, Saku? So, we deserve it. Or I deserve it, I guess. You're not having no beer, are you, Sack? You want a beer? All right. Have another cracker. And then I'm going to get myself some firewood. That should be enough sticks for the old fire. What do you think, Saku? Just walking back to camp there now. We weren't gone too long, probably 45 minutes. So I had to get back to the wood stove now. Hopefully she's not gone out. Looks to be still smoking. And I'll put a few more sticks in her. Just trying to get a good shot of camp here. Smoke piping out of the chimney. Load of wood. A few more back there. Casualties. Anyways, gonna junk them up and go out to the pond, drill a hole, get some water for the kettle, and put a few hooks down. It's almost dark now, but it's worth a shot. We'll see anyways. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But tomorrow I'll be here all day, so I can fish all day long. So maybe I'll wait it out and just plug in a big shift tomorrow. What do you think, Sack? Come on! Sack's after squirrels, aren't you, bud? After squirrels, aren't you, kid? Yes. Nice little bed of embers there. And the fire's good to go. Man, I'm gonna have some snooze in here tonight. Aren't we, Saku? toasty old fire going. Dandy. That, my friends, is a pot of rabbit soup. So that's what's for supper. With a couple more crackers. I got some salt fish there as well, and some potatoes and veggies, but some rice actually. So I might have some more later, but I don't know. Right now that's all I need. It's a pretty hearty bowl of rabbit soup. And cabbage, carrots, potato, turnip, barley, rabbit meat, a little bit of salt beef in there, and looks to be a little bit of liver there too. Could be a kidney or heart in there. I think I ate the heart. Anyways, that's going in the old belly there now at once. That's the little resting place for it up there. I think I gotta add a small bit of water to it there. Not a whole lot of liquor in it. By liquor I don't mean booze. I mean the soup broth itself. That's what we call it here in Newfoundland and Labrador. Can't forget the big line. So I'll let that warm up. It's gonna be good. Saku already had his supper. Got a little dessert for him. I'll let him lick out the soup bowl. Hey buds. Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind it at all. And I'm just gonna sip away on my soup now. It's pretty hot, but it's wicked. Whatever I've had so far, every spoonful was deadly. Made by yours truly. So, I'm gonna have this, and there's not a whole lot exciting going on here this evening. Gonna relax after, and we'll catch you in the morning. It's just before 8 o'clock. I'm grabbing a cup of coffee. Hey, bye. And now shortly, I don't know, I'll have a little snack, maybe a bit of breakfast. I got some Toutons and bacon and eggs and all that good stuff. And then I'm going to go out and do a bit of ice fishing. So I can't wait. It's going to be fun. And for those of you who don't know what a Touton is, because I just said it there a minute ago, a Touton is a little a treat here that we have in Newfoundland. It's basically just dough. You know, I guess you can call it something similar to a pancake. You put syrup on it, but basically it's just fried dough. And buddy, is some good. So I'm gonna get myself into a bit of that, and we'll go and try to hook some supper. Hey, Saku boy. All right, we'll be seeing you today. Over and out. Whew. Burn the lips off you. Lie down. Lie down. Lie down with Dad. Lie down. There you go. Good. Okay, so I'm putting a little weight on my line just to get it down there. It was on there but it fell off, so I'm just putting it back on. They say not to do it with your teeth, but this one's steel anyways, it's not lead. It's one of the newer kinds. Steel, of course, is not poisonous like lead to humans or to any of the fish or anything else, birds and stuff, beavers that live in the pond. So I got that on. Now I'm going to put a nice worm on there. So this is my first hook going down, and I'm going to put it down in a hole I made last night out getting some water. So Saku's over there eating ice, aren't you, Sak? So that's good to go down the hole. Gonna open her back up. Watch out, Saku. Watch out, buddy. Saku's got to be careful around the axe. Watch out, bud. And down it goes. I'm going to let that go down now until it hits the bottom, and I'm going to bring it up a few inches. Looks to have hit the bottom. It's down there. Now I'm going to reel it back up. All I use here is an old wooden stick and some line and a hook, a weight, and a little swivel at the end as well, but that's not necessary. So that's down there, and I'll let it set. On to the next one. This stick right here is a tip up, and you know, I don't usually care too much for them, but they're pretty neat rigs, and I was given this one by a friend. Someone he worked with made it, and man, pretty neat idea, I must say. So you know, your line wraps around, there's little slits at both ends, and the line hooks into those, and then at the end, when you put down how much you want, you hook a little bit of your line into this thing, which is attached to the little red flag here. So when you get a bite, it pulls down on the stick underneath, and the little red thing sticks up and pops in the air. You know you got a fish on. So pretty cool to have one, and I have another one in the bag as well that I found somewhere else. So none of them are my ideas, but they are pretty cool, and someday I may try putting one together. But for me, just the old stick and the hook does it. You know, it's simple, it's easy, and it works. So I got 3 lines down now. That's my limit. So I'm just gonna wait and see what happens. If you think this is yours, let me know and you can have it back if you watch this video. You're more than welcome. It's still in great shape. I've only used it a few times. So if this looks like yours, it's found on the Northeast Avalon Peninsula in Newfoundland. down around Torbay, Bologna area. So if it's yours, give me a shout. Number one, nice little brookie. Saki, one of us got supper. All right, let's put it down, see if we can get another one. It took about 30 minutes. And I got it on one that wasn't a tip up too. The thing with tip ups is you're walking up to it and you know usually that you don't got one on because your thing's not stuck up. With this old shearwood hockey stick, I don't know if I got one or not. So it's a nice little surprise. We got another one. Here you go, Sack. Number two. Another nice brookie. Yip yip. So we came back to unload the bit of wood we had and got the fire going again. She had just gone out. There was barely an ember remaining. So I fired a bit of birch bark in there that I just picked up. And then I threw on a couple blueberry muffins my mom made. Whew, they're dandy. And I got those on a piece of tin foil there, just heating up with a little bit of butter spread across the top. Nice little snack. Nothing there. I'm out for round 2 of checks now. In a camper bit, and I'll go and check every hole I got. Oh, just last one. No way. He was a nice one. Look. He took me hook. I just had a dandy trout on. Look at this. I hauled him up. It's like he bit the hook as I hauled it. Because when I gave it the first tug, it didn't feel like anything was on. Anyways, he tugged it. I pulled him up and just at the top of the hole, he took my hook. This one's been tied on for a year now, old line. And it probably just snapped. It did snap. Shit. Changed. Anyhow, good thing is, I came over to my other fishing hole, and right there, and that's the trout I just got. So not a bad little trout, and that's number 3. There was a few trout down this hole. If you look closely, you can see them swimming around. One right there, 2 right there. Looks like we got one on here. The stick's almost down in the hole. Oh yeah, buddy, it's a nice one. Look at that one. What's that, Seth? Yes, sir. Almost lost the stick. That's a nice little brook trout. I wonder if he got another hook in his mouth. Not a bad size. Oh my. I just went back to hole number 1. Bingo! Yes! What a beautiful speckled trout. Look at that, buddy. Look at it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Wow. That is gorgeous. Anyways, this spot's heating up here now just before dark. I had another one on. Oh, little guy, I'll put him back. Hey, bud. What's going on, pal? You're starving in here, buddy. Starving. Go on. Starved to death. So, it was a great day here at camp, man. Just a wonderful day. What a time I had.
I did well with the trout after. I ended up keeping 6, I do believe, and lost a few. Now I'm back at camp, the fire's going, and I got some salt fish cooked up there, and I'm going to follow that up with potatoes and some peppers fried up in the pan. I'm going to save my trout I caught for tomorrow morning for breakfast, I think. If not, I'll bring them home and have a feed tomorrow evening. So, all in all, a dandy day, and we're going to have a feed, and that'll be it for the night around here. Not much more going on. So, we'll see you in the morning. Cheers. Night.
Another top-notch breakfast on the way. Moose Bologna, bacon, potatoes and onions. Bit of salt and pepper going on top of those now as well. We'll call them breakfast hash browns, I suppose. And that's going to hit the spot. Smells some shocking good in here, buddy. She's well on her way to getting in me belly. So, just to show you the sleep system I brought up with me here in the camp, I generally like to keep the stove going throughout the night. So that means cutting a little extra firewood, but more comfort for me, and I like the sound of the fire kind of crackling throughout the evening. All I do is, you know, my body just kind of wakes up when it starts cooling off in the tent. Generally, you know, most times I wake up before it goes out. I put a few more sticks in the fire, and then it's good to go. But I do have with me a blanket, just a small, you know, Habs blanket. That's my team. And I got a mat here, sleeping pad. That's not overly necessary, but I bring it along just in case. And I have a pillowcase. And inside the pillowcase is just some old clothes, some extra stuff I had along with me. So that's all I used, and that's all I needed, because it was, you know, for the most part, fairly warm in here. I did bring along this sleeping bag. It's just a rab, and that was in case I wanted to let the stove go out. I got lazy, or you know, it did, and I didn't want to get it going in the middle of the night. So that's rated for -4 comfort level, I do believe. The worm's gone on this one. Probably picked apart by smaller trout. I'll lay that there for a second. That's one for the pan. Check the last one. What a gorgeous trout. That one's near 10 inches, I would say. Nice speckled. Man, oh man. That is going to be some good in the pan. It's up, Zach. So that's not bad. I got 2 speckled trout out of it. Out of my 3 potential lines. There was a fair bit of ice in each hole, about an inch or so. So I had to chop away at that before I can get the hook free. I almost lost one of them, but again, I managed to savor all 3 lines. 2 fish, good for the pan, and I'm going to put hooks or worms, sorry, back on all those hooks and put them back down, see if I can get a couple more trout before I take off later today. 9 trout I got. That's not a bad haul. I wasn't expecting that many, but it's a good little spot out here. So that's a good few meals for me throughout the next week or so. And Saku as well. Hey buddy. Saku will have a few trout, no doubt. And that's it. My lines are still left down. I got 3 lines, and hopefully I can get a dozen trout. Another 3 more would be nice before I leave now in another few hours. But a good time ice fishing here over the last day or so, and you can't beat it. Look at the flesh on that. Beautiful looking meat. What a mud trout. And I mean, this type of trout can be called, it has a few different names. People call it speckled trout. Here in Newfoundland we refer to them as mud trout. And brook trout as well is another name for them. So I call them all 3. It doesn't really matter. All that matters is that they're great eating trout. So I'm just headed out to fill the kettle now for one last boil up of tea before I hit the road in a couple hours. Looks like we got a bit of freezing rain setting in, mixed with some snow even. It's hard to tell on the GoPro, but it's pretty hazy out on the pond here. Saku's back lying down. He didn't want to come out. He's probably with his back there with his head poked out through the door, I'd say. That's what he generally does. But anyhow, just out to fill the old kettle. This kettle actually has been with me for I believe 4 years now, since early 2014. So it has quite the stories to tell. I would say it's been over at least a couple hundred campfires, but yeah, it's definitely got my bang for my buck there, and I don't want to let go of her either. As rustic as she looks on the outside, it's nice and shiny, clean on the inside. Good old stuff there, but that won't hurt you. Anyways, geez, this froze over already. I gotta go back and get my axe. Thanks for the delicious blueberry muffs, Muds. They're gonna be decent. So I went back and checked my 3 hooks, and I had 3 more trout. 2 of them being 2 of the biggest ones I've got so far in the last couple of days. So great way to finish it off. And now what I gotta do is put a tarp over the top here of my canvas tent. What that's going to do is just going to keep the weather, any bit of dampness, rain, freezing rain, snow. It's okay when you're in there with the stove going, but to leave it here for a while, it's just going to wear down the canvas material. So I'm putting this over the top for a little protection. A little camouflage too, right? Tuck us away. We'll be nice and hidden. This stuff is not the strongest of rope. I think it's only cotton, but it should hold. I don't got very much of my good paracord left, so I want to save it. This should do the job. What do you think, Zach? If not, it's not a big deal. Not life or death or nothing. So that looks to be good for the tarp. The reason actually why I'm putting the tarp up is because I'm going to leave the camp here. I'll be off back and forth over the next week or two, and instead of taking it all down and having to put it back up again, which is, you know, takes a decent deal of effort, I'm going to leave it up. So, you know, it's been a great couple days, hasn't it, Saku? We want to thank you for coming along, and it's been a good trip. As always, please hit the like button below if you enjoyed the video, and even subscribe to the channel if you like it that much. Thank you, and we'll see you again soon. Take care. Hey, buddy.
There'll be nevermore will roll. There'll be rolling in the hay, there'll be whiskey in the day, and the boys come rolling home. Safely reach the other side of New York City Fair, in spite of wind and rain and stormy weather. And all sat down when we passed.
Why do I do it to myself?
Said we'd all come back again together. There'll be dance and romance, and nevermore will roam. There'll be rolling in the hay.